Հաջորդ շաբաթ օրը հոկտեմբերի 13-ին Կոլումբիա համալսարանի Law School իրավաբանական դպրոցում տեղի կունենա հայկական ստարտափ ծրագրի առաջին համաժողովը։ Մենք հանդիպել ենք ծրագրի կազմակերպիչների հետ, ձեզ ներկայացնելու համար մանրամասները հայկական ստարտափ ծրագրի մասին։
The meeting with organizers of Startup Revolution, Emma Arakelian, CEO and co-founder of Armenian Worldwide Innovation LLC, and Managing Director of multimedia company Open Mind Production LLC, and New York City attorney Armen Morian, a member of the committee planning of the Armenian Bar Association's The Startup Revolution program, took place at WeWork in New York City, an American startup company that provides shared workspaces for technology startup subculture communities and services for entrepreneurs, freelancers, startups, small businesses, and large enterprises. Every modern economy needs a healthy, vibrant startup sector. The importance of startups for Armenia and of the law for startups is the ideal subject for a special, groundbreaking legal educational program. Armenians, young and not so young, have been answering the call and joining the startup revolution. On Saturday, October 13th in New York City at Columbia Law School will take place a Startup Revolution program organized by the Armenian Bar Association.
Right now we are standing on the rooftop of the Broadway building. It's actually one of the locations of WeWork, the startup community, the startup ecosystem center. And there is a reason we are standing here, because the Armenian Global Innovation Hub that we're in the process of establishing is going to be relying on type of the ecosystem and locations like WeWork. We've been testing this business model, how to connect our Armenian and non-Armenian startups all together. And the great news is that this company is actually located globally. And this is one of the locations which is going to become the center for New York when we have our Armenian startups to come to this city.
Recently, Voice of Armenians TV New York sat down for interview with Emma Arakelian and Armen Morian to speak about the Startup Revolution, an initiative program they are organizing.
Thank you for this opportunity, and it's a very interesting program. And what is the Startup Revolution, Emma?
But the Startup Revolution is the event that we organized to start new collaboration, not only in New York or in the United States, but globally for all Armenian startups, non-Armenian startups, for educational institutions, for students, for investors, and we think it's the right time to do it.
What's the connection in between the Startup Revolution program and the Bar Association?
The immediate connection, of course, is that we're putting this program on as a continuing legal education program and as a general conference addressing this really vitally important area of economic development generally and particularly for Armenia as well. So the immediate connection is that we're co-sponsoring this with Emma's group. The most important element of any startup is its intellectual property. And intellectual property relies on law to protect it. And so it's vitally important that there's this sort of natural connection between law and startups, if you like. So that kind of naturally invited us to try to put this program together. And I think, hopefully that begins to answer your question at least.
Who can participate in this startup program?
As we all know, startup is a large and very impactful ecosystem globally, and the participants that we are inviting to this event is in person in New York City at Columbia University, in Armenia in 3 locations, in Yerevan, in Vanadzor, and Gyumri, to participate in person, and we are inviting startup founders, entrepreneurs, people who are planning to actually establish a startup and they are in the process of creating it. So inventors, the educational institutions, and we are definitely inviting students who are actually practicing law, who are planning to practice law, and technology specialized students.
how does this program can help Armenia in practical level?
Now we know that Armenia technology has become one of the key industries for the country, and even started to bring 4 to 5% of the total GDP for the country. So it is the future for Armenia growth. So is actually for many other countries. And been working with so many startups and actually educational representatives from Armenia, this is the right time to connect them globally to these very strong resources that we have outside of Armenia. And I think the growth for Armenia relies in collaboration. So we created this new relationship between the Bar Association, all these very talented, actually very distinguished and powerful lawyers, judges, and attorneys to connect with our startup ecosystem in Armenia and Armenians globally. So that's why the entire event is going to be broadcasted live, and it's going to be live streamed. So everybody is invited from any country, Armenian and non-Armenian startups, to participate.
If I can just add something to what Emma said, Karin and John, you asked, why is this important for Armenia? I think any modern economy has to have a vibrant startup sector, full stop, no matter what country they are. But if you're a country like Armenia, it's even more important. We have something, what does it take to do a startup ultimately? What's the quintessential ingredient is fantastic creativity, fantastic audacity and daring to do things. That's what we are as a people. We're also a landlocked country with a lot of hostile neighbors. It's not very easy to get things in and out of Armenia. Of course, it is much easier now than it was, and God willing, it will continue to be that way. But the traffic in business with a startup is virtual. It doesn't require freight. It doesn't require expense. It doesn't require logistics to get out of the country. So that's another very good reason, I think, why it makes an enormous amount of sense for a country like Armenia. We have the talent, we have the daring, and it's an industry that doesn't rely, you can, other than electricity, kind of, pretty much, it's impossible to shut down a high-tech sector in a country, pretty much. I mean, of course, there's cyber, warfare things and all that stuff, but setting that aside, it's a very good way of earning foreign exchange and establishing the country in a way that I think Armenia is uniquely qualified to do.
We established a really strong relationship with EIF, with the Gyumri Technology Center, with Vanadzor Technology Center. We established with SmartGate, who are the venture capitals, with Sevan Startup, and of course Granatus. Those are the venture organizations that have done a lot of work for the Armenian startups. And we started not only actually participate ourselves, but take people from different countries, like a global presence for Armenia, to have people to travel to Armenia and see the potential. In New York, we have established with universities and with big companies like Microsoft, Accenture, and Big Four, we take Armenian startups to present. And for that reason, in order to present for the transactions, our startups have to be prepared as a legal institution or as a legal company to be able to start doing transactions with larger companies and corporations.
How Armenian government can facilitate with this startup?
I'm so happy you asked that question because I'm so prepared for that one. So one of the panelists on our during the conference is going to be our ambassador to the United States, Grigor Hovanesyan, and his team, actually Makar Melikian. I want to stress that we were working with them for more than a year to establish Armenian Global Innovation Hub, and we are at the stage that we needed to combine our efforts, and I think the Armenian Bar Association is one of them. We're going to expand it to actually connect with other networks, Armenian diaspora, and they were very engaged to see how embassies across the world can actually support the startup ecosystem. And for that reason, later this month, I'm going to be in Armenia, and we're going to sit down with our leaders from all industries, actually, economy, transportation, technology, education, to see how this Armenian hub will support the next level of growth. And the foundation of all that, they have to have the proper legal structure. This is why we think that this conference, participation of startups in this conference, please sign up, anybody who is listening to this in New York and globally and in Armenia.
They can come to the website of the Armenian Bar Association, which is armenianbar.org, armenianbar.org, and there'll be links on the website directing people to get to the pages that will provide more information. And maybe it's a good opportunity to talk a little bit about the Bar Association too. The Armenian Bar Association was founded in 1989 in Los Angeles, where we're still headquartered, under the leadership of our chairman, Giro Kasabian, and our vice chairs, Kathy Osian and Lucy Varpetian. We have many vibrant chapters throughout the country, including, of course, here in the New York, New Jersey, Connecticut region, under the leadership of our co-chairs, Denise Darmanian and Gary Munjan. Primarily, the Bar Association it's a forum for lawyers of Armenian ancestry to come together socially and professionally to address the legal concerns of the Armenian community. That sounds very general, but I think the real goal is professional growth, community advancement, and we do that in the way a lot of other bar associations do. So we do pro bono work, for instance, in the local communities that we work in. We do legal education programs. This program is certainly among those kinds of programs. But we're also committed to supporting, and have done an enormous amount of work supporting the emergence of a rule of law society in Armenia. So that's another important thing that we've been engaged with. I think the real important thing is we strive to be an organization that is relevant not just to lawyers of Armenian ancestry, but to the profession as a whole. We're looking beyond what we are as Armenian lawyers to what we are as Armenian lawyers engaged with a profession that is bigger than we are, obviously. It's obviously one of the most important professions generally in the world. It's certainly one of the most important professions in the United States. And I think programs like this one is a way of demonstrating that. Demonstrating relevance.
Եվ վերջում կուզենայի, որ մի քանի խոսք հայերենով ասեիք մեր հայախոս հեռուստադիտողների համար, ինչ է իրենից ներկայացնում այս ծրագիրը։
Այս ծրագրի հիմնական նպատակն է Հայաստանին բարձրացնել մի ուրիշ մակարդակի, հիմնված իր տեխնոլոգիայի զարգացման արդյունքները, որ տեսել ենք վերջին 10 տարվա մեջ։ Հայ իրավաբանների միությունը կարող է ձեռք մեկնել մեր հայ գործարարներին այստեղ Ամերիկայում եւ Հայաստանում եւ մյուս բոլոր երկրներում, եւ մենք շատ ողջավորված ենք, որ արդեն երկու կողմն էլ պատրաստ են, եւ Արմենի վերած օրինակները, որ այստեղ արդեն մեծ ուժ եւ կապեր ունենք, ուզում ենք դա տանել նաեւ Հայաստան։ Որպես
իրավաբան ես ուզում եմ արտահայտել այս միտքը, որ այս պահին պատմության մեջ իրավաբանությունը եւ իրավաբանների դերը Հայաստանում շատ կարեւոր է, այսինքն շատ կարեւոր է։ Պետք է օգնենք ստեղծել Հայաստանում մի հանրապետություն, մի երկիր, մի ռեժիմ, որ լուրջ կերպով օրենքի վրա է հիմնված։ Վերևից մինչև վար, վարից մինչև վերև, ձախից մինչև աջ, աջից մինչև ձախ։ Այսինքն շատ կարևոր է եւ ցավոք սրտի այդ պրոջեկտը որևէ երկրում դժվար պրոջեկտ է ստեղծելը։ Նույնիսկ Ամերիկայի Միացյալ Նահանգների 1776-ից հետո մինչև 1787 թիվը տևեց մինչև Ամերիկան կարողանա հաստատել իր ինքնուրույնությունը եւ հաստատել իր սահմանադրությունը։ Եվ այդ սահմանադրությունը հիմնելուց հետո արդեն նույն այլ ավելի տարիներ տևեց, մինչև այդ կառավարությունը կարող են վերականգնեն։ Դժվար գործ է եւ Ամերիկայում այն ժամանակ այդ բոլոր բաները, որ պետք էր լինել, այդ բոլոր ինչպես ասեմ, ingredient-ները, որ պետք է լինել, բաղադրամասերը արդեն կար։ Հիմա ցավոք սրտի 70 տարի սովետ միությունից հետո Հայաստանում այդ պայմանները դեռ չկան։ Գործը այլ ավելի դժվար է, բայց մի բան ենք հասել պատմության մեջ գերեւի, որ հեղափոխական պահ է այսօր եւ հույս կա գերեւի, որ այս կառավարությունը եթե լուրջ կերպով այս պրոջեկտը ուզում է հաստատել, հնարավորություն կա որ կարող են անել եւ իրավաբանների դերը այդ պրոջեկտի մեջ շատ մեծ դեր է։
In addition to the event at Columbia Law School in New York City, the program will be streamed live to 3 special interactive live stream locations in Armenia. In Yerevan, at the Beline Startup Incubator, located at 4 North Avenue. In Gyumri, at Gyumri Technology Center, located at 1 Gyumri Street. And in Vanadzor, at Vanadzor Technology Center, located at 12 Shinararneri Street. Anyone wishing to participate in the live program in New York can register on the website of the Armenian Bar Association at www.armenianbar.org. To join one of the live stream locations in Armenia, send an email to one of the email addresses on our screen.